Hey guys, how's it going? It's your boy M.K.S here, back here with another video. To be honest, it's taken me quite a while to get around to making this for various reasons. I suppose having a lack of energy, and the reason for that lack of energy is going through an existential crisis. So I'm wondering what's the point of doing anything, but I'm struggling to stay motivated. But I thought, since I suppose I've got probably nothing better to do, rather, I thought I might as well make it. I do try and keep these different to my Facebook videos in case people watch both if I'm lucky enough, but I hope people will support me anyway. But sometimes I do feel like a broken record because of my patterns and how certain numbers remind me of certain things. But nevertheless, I hope people will find this interesting. These series of videos are really for Anglo-Indians, other Eurasians, possibly other mixed race groups, and those who are interested in finding out about Anglo-Indians, Eurasians and other mixed race groups, but especially Anglo-Indians. I suppose they mainly focus on Anglo-Indians, as it was world or international or global, whichever term you prefer. As I say, world / international / global, delete as applicable if you like. Anglo-Indian Day yesterday. So I find it strange that it comes like India's Independence Day comes on the 15th of August, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. If anyone knows any contrarian points to what I say, or if I'm making mistakes, please let me know in the comments section. As ever, if you'd be so kind. Well, I say as ever, no one ever seems to do so, but please don't hold back any feedback. But yeah, if I'm making mistakes or anything like that, or you have any tips for me or suggestions, as ever, I would love to read them in the comment section. Or if you want to make a reaction video, hopefully in the future I'll react to some of my older videos. And if you want me to react to your videos, please also let me know. And but yeah, whatever you do for my channel, I hope to do for yours. Yeah, sorry, the intro has gone a bit long, but yeah, I think there was something else I was going to say. But yeah, if I do make any mistakes about, let's say, India's Independence Day, for instance, or anything like that, please let me know. But yeah, it's strange that it comes before India's Independence Day, but I think it probably came a few years after. But I would love for all of August to be Anglo-Indian Day, or month rather, as it's also my birth month. As an AI, as I say. Anyway, cracking on with the list of some of my thoughts and ideas. Again, I do try and keep them different to my Facebook versions if I can, or make video. I sort of make the same videos that I do on Facebook pretty much always, but sometimes on different days, or sometimes, sometimes on different days, sorry, or whatever, on different orders or whatnot. But yeah, I hope that it's not too repetitive from that. But anyway, with that being said, I also hope not to waffle too much. So here goes. So number one, as I often make these list videos because it helps me to organize my thoughts. As I say, these videos are mainly for Anglo-Indians and those interested in the culture, hopefully fellow Eurasians and other mixed race groups, but especially Eurasians as well. Another disadvantage of doing my videos live, like when I drink my tea and all that. But yeah, sorry. I would love to unite together Anglo-Indians and possibly also Eurasians generally and mixed race groups. But I would love for this to be certain projects where we work together, like we work together with the A.I.s, which is the name for mixed race people in Korea, Hafus, which is a name for mixed race people in Japan. Also Indos in Indonesia, who are part Dutch and part Indonesian, and Kristangs, which are part Malaysian or Singaporean, because they used to be one country, and part Portuguese. Again, if you know any information about Eurasians, please let me know. Other Eurasian groups, for instance, I think, I'm pretty sure in Vietnam they're called Amerasians, and they were treated very badly. But those four nations, Malaysia, India, Indonesia, and Singapore, one of the main reasons why I support them, as well as the fact they were colonized. And I would love to support Vietnam as well. But those four nations really looked after Eurasian people. But yeah, I would love to connect with and maybe travel to those nations. Number two, I would love for us to learn from each other, passing on any skills or knowledge or information we know to each other. So yeah, we're supporting each other and teaching each other what we know. Like, for instance, people who have ran businesses or done well in politics or whatever could teach and train and mentor others, the rest of us who are not successful like myself, and especially the younger generations. But again, hope to come to these details, these points in more detail as I go along. Number three, I would love for us to support libertarianism and libertarianism as I suppose these sorts of things are what, as I said on my Facebook again, sorry for repeating myself, these are things that I wish to stand for, but I'm prepared to listen to my fellow Anglo-Indians, especially about what sort of things they would like to work on or support or do. They might not always agree with me. None of these are to be enforced. They're all about libertarianism and freedom, but these are the sort of things I wish for us to stand for. Some Anglo-Indians might be socialists, communists, or just fiscally conservative, or whatever other sort of political persuasion. I don't imagine too many would be far right unless they're self-loathing, I suppose, given that we're part Asian. But yeah, depending on what you mean by far right, like I class far right as being like white supremacists, neo-Nazis, and people like that. I use those terms interchangeably, but anyway, I've gone a bit off topic. But yeah, so basically, I'd love us to stand for libertarianism. Number 4, also for obeying all laws. I suppose some people might say, depending on what you mean by libertarianism or how far you take it, they could be contrary points. But I think within the law, we should grant people whatever freedoms they want. Like, for instance, socialists or communists might say, have a go at billionaires for not paying so much tax, or they might want to see nationalisation, deregulation of industry, regulation of industries, more regulation, more taxes and things like that, more controls, more laws. And I would love to see less rules or laws, less laws especially, and for people to follow what little laws there are, but there are only to be a few of them. I'd love to see privatisation, deregulation of industries, lower taxes and things like that. But I'd also love to see us stand for peace. I don't think we should join militaries, gangs, terrorism, or anything that encourages violence or promotes violence or has violence within it, except for defending ourselves or defending the more vulnerable rather, except for defending the weaker or more vulnerable, like young people or disabled people or whatever. Again, I think we should do so in a libertarian way without trying to tax people or whatever. But as I say, I believe we should stand for peace and only use violence in self-defense or defense of the vulnerable, and that kind of thing. But again, I would love to hear from or read comments from my fellow Anglo-Indians and other Eurasians about what we should stand for. Number 5, I would love for us to support each other with our goals and aims and aspirations. Like me, I need a lot of encouragement because I feel that, as I said, I've been going through an existential crisis. A lot of times I think things are not really, I feel everything is pointless and trivial. So I'm going through a bit of nihilism, as I say, existentialism, if that's the right way of putting it. But so maybe my fellow Anglo-Indians who have done well in their chosen fields or whatnot could, or just Anglo-Indians generally, could encourage me perhaps, and we could encourage each other, help each other discuss goals and see what we can do to help us to work on our goals as a community. I also forgot to say actually in point number 1. Also I forgot to say in point number 1, I would love for us to be a joint, like work together, like learning to lobby together, have a joint consumer group, learning to invest together, run businesses together, and that kind of thing, especially investments and things like that, and look at how we can reduce costs by like buying together in bulk or buying from companies that support us and things like that. But again, point number 5, I dream that could be part of it, I suppose, and also I dream that we'll help each other with our goals, aims, objectives, and that kind of thing. Sometimes maybe we would have to tell someone where like some of my goals might be really out there, and some of my fellow Anglo-Indians might have to politely tell me that's not going to work, or you should try this instead, or whatever. So there is that as well. But yeah, done it in a sort of way where we encourage each other on our goals and our journey and things like that. Number 6, I would love for us to support each other's work, so I say generally, help each other to reach our full potential, obey the law as much as possible, and also support Italian football, Serie A, the Italian league, and as many Italian teams as possible. I'd love for us to tour. I'd love for us to support. I did say on Facebook, and I forgot to mention on this point, number 5. I'd love for us to tour Malaysia, India, Indonesia, and Singapore especially, and also South Africa as they went through apartheid. But those nations, because they were colonized, but also because they have strong Eurasian groups, I'd love for us to mingle with our fellow Eurasians in those nations that I mentioned as well, and also support like all the 6, which I mentioned in previous videos, like people from former colonies, people of colour or indigenous people, or both from former colonies, and that kind of thing. But yeah, I'd love for us to also travel to Italy and go to all possible parts of Italy to practice football together and help Italian football to improve and see what we can do and showcase what we can do as a community to benefit Italian football. I'm a bit biased because I think I look Italian. I suppose many Anglo-Indians might also look Italian, and they're one of the most successful teams. So hopefully we can help them to become the most successful at both club and country level. I may dream, but that's why I'm hoping to work on. Hopefully, if we practice with them, maybe invest in or even donate to Italian teams, and try and help them to get as much money as possible, as much funding, but also, as I say, practice so they can buy the best possible players, both from Italy and overseas, but also develop younger Italian footballers as well. And number 7, I'd also dream to support Celtic. And listen to different views, as I say, like I said before, that including on religion and things like that. I also hope God shows He's on our side and blesses us, but I may dream. He's never answered one of my prayers before, but hopefully He'll answer this one. Maybe He'll do it in His own way. But anyway, moving on, number 8, I would love for us to work with other POC, people of colour, and Indigenous communities from Africa, Australasia, Aboriginals and people like that, support them, and Native Americans and that kind of thing. And again, what I call the 6, but because of the white supremacists or neo-Nazis or far right or extreme right, I use those terms interchangeably, i.e. people who hate people of colour, including us. I think we should support our fellow people of colour as well as other mixed race groups, especially other Eurasians. Sorry, my stomach's rumbling for some reason, as it often does when I make videos for someone. I don't know why it always does that when I make videos. But yeah, number 9, I'd love to also work on creative works. Maybe councils around the world could give us like our own spaces and places for like writing, poetry and things like poetry, art, writing, creative expression and things like that. Number 10, I'd love for us to support each other on social media, especially YouTube, and also, as I say, helping the younger generations to learn. So like older generations teaching what they know. So if someone who's run a business 30 or even 40 years, or at least 20 years or whatever, or even, well, I suppose even 10 years, I suppose you could say, but even if it's more, even if it's like, sorry, if it's even 40 years or whatever, or more, I suppose they'd be pretty old, but they could have a lot of knowledge that they could pass on to younger generations, and they could support each other as a community. And again, as ever, I would love to read comments from my fellow Anglo-Indians and possibly encourage my fellow Anglo-Indians not only to A.I.s, not only to post in the comments, but also make your own reaction videos. I have this quirky little joke where I say I'm an AI, that's Anglo-Indian, not artificial intelligence, due to my quirkiness and traits and stuff like that, but it's my weird sort of humour as well. Anywho, I'm going to wrap this up and I am out. Peace out.